Doc, do you think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
But I thought the turning point was just, we had an open shot, and we made one free throw, and we missed the other.
Ben Simmons does not want to be a part of the Philadelphia 76ers any longer. This is something that he declared just a couple of days after the season was over.
The Brooklyn Nets are trading James Harden to Philadelphia for the 76ers. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks.
All right, welcome Kings and Queens to another installment of the NBA Contenders Series brought to you by us, the educators. I'm Obar, and I'm here with my brother.
Good family, Shabazz.
And today we're going to be detailing and looking over the 76ers. Now, the Sixers have been an interesting team. There's a video that was made that said why Joel Embiid is the unluckiest NBA superstar. And I think in the last 20 years that I can remember in terms of his timeline and how such a great player doesn't get a chance to even get to the championship. Go find that video. Very interesting stuff. Last year, the Sixers finished 4th in the NBA. They were 51-31. Such a inconsistent season in terms of how things went. Very up and down.
Yeah.
You had the Ben Simmons saga.
And that's the thing. That's really what slowed them down initially, was Ben Simmons not playing.
So last year, the Sixers, the main players that they lost was... Now, keep in mind, the Sixers never really had no clear players that played crazy minutes from these players lost, but they all did a little bit. Like Danny Green was a key part, but he was hurt a lot. Andre Drummond, soft, some garbage.
Andre Drummond might be the worst f***ing offensive player in the league. He's just shit. He's like Russell Westbrook, but with the delusions of shooting ability replaced with delusions of just overall scoring ability. I really don't think you can get much worse than Andre Drummond in terms of touch around the rim. This guy has 0 touch around the rim. He can't hit a bucket.
DeAndre Jordan should never have been playing. He was part of the trade for James Harden.
Still lost how my man's in the league. No disrespect to DeAndre Jordan.
He was the Denver Nuggets right now.
Yeah.
So he's still getting a contract. He must be a good teammate.
I hope so.
Paul Millsap, who kind of
veteran presence.
Yeah, he didn't do that much, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of players added, PJ Tucker was a great addition.
Corner sniper.
6'6", 240, 250, crazy shoe game. Even though we don't condone that here at the educators, but I recognize real. Can guard 1 through 4 and 5. But hey, he's trying to get that bag.
Hey.
Obviously, the Heat didn't want to pay him. He have a history of not wanting to play role players. So I can see why that happened. Montrezl Harrell, great backup big to always add that energy behind Joel. DeAnthony Melton, great combo guard, athletic, defensive wizard.
Even you naming all these players right here, it makes me want to praise the Sixers front office for all these additions they made, because that depth is about to be crazy.
I agree, because when you get a player like Joel Embiid, you got to put that pressure on.
Exactly.
You got to hurry up and try to win, man. You can't waste these dudes, especially he already wasted 3. And then he's been hurt so much in so many different playoff series randomly here and there, or Ben Simmons just not shooting, or Ben Simmons gets hurt, or Jimmy, or the Kawhi bounce. So many random things. So they had great, powerful additions. They probably, to me, have top 3 off seasons in NBA.
100%. You factor in the James Harden trade. From that point forward, everything was fireworks for this team.
Another key player that lost, I forgot, Seth Curry, who was huge. Seth Curry is one of the most. That's actually probably the most key player. Important player they lost. Him and Ben Simmons. Ben didn't play the whole year, so I don't really count Ben, but we know his value.
You know, Seth Curry was the one player on that team that averaged 2 threes last season.
One?
He was the only player on the team that averaged 2 threes last year.
That tells you a lot for a team that needs spacing.
Exactly.
Daniel House is the other player that was added this year that brings, like I said, defense and shooting. Because last year they were playing Korkmaz. He don't really play defense. They were playing random shooting guards and power forwards. Shooting guards and small forwards that didn't really, like Danny Green wasn't the same guy.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? James Harden can't really play defense for real. So he was added the halfway point. So James Harden, I will say, is a key addition as well because he was kind of hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Last season. So now we seeing James Harden with a full off season to train, get his body together, get back in shape. He's seeing all these dudes winning. He knows his time clock's running short.
Exactly.
James Harden, I would hope to see a motivated James Harden this season.
He better, because this is going to destroy his legacy. This is why I think he kind of panicked and axed out of the Nets, even though they were like 16-2 and 3 when they played. But he just saw all the weirdness and was like, man, let me get out of here and guarantee myself a chip at some point.
Hey, and honestly, I think that's one of the few things holding him back from passing D Wade in the all-time shooting guards.
I agree.
Like me personally, I probably will always take D Wade over Harden just because, yeah, D Wade was too vicious in his prime. If you know, you know. But
we will make a top positions of all-time list and current positions. So look out for those videos too. But I agree with you that Dwayne Wade, yeah, defense, playmaking, everything all around better. The next point is really the biggest hurdles for the Sixers to win a chip this year and even the future is one, Embiid's health. If Embiid can stay healthy, last year he broke his eye socket and had like a slight torn meniscus in the playoffs, played through all of it.
Yep.
But the broken eye socket was the one that he couldn't overcome, like he couldn't see. So that messed up his season this past year. And the other issue is Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is one of the most overrated. Keep in mind, we did a video on black head coaches and how black coaches do not get a second chance or don't get opportunities. So we're not coming from a place of hating. We want to see our brothers succeed, but we're also very realistic and unbiased. You can see the red, black, and green flag. You see the block. Hey, we all for that, our people. But the best man wins. I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever it is. That's who deserves the opportunity.
Tell him.
And Doc Rivers has luckily gotten by with that Celtics championship. Doc Rivers kind of drawing this Sixers team to a certain extent because him throwing Ben Simmons under the bus after a close game like that, knowing that it wasn't really just his fault, was one of the most disgusting things I've seen from a head coach in my 25 years of watching basketball.
That's a complete lack of accountability.
Super lack of accountability. And I think that's what made Ben say, like, nah, Ben Simmons in that game, he had 13 points, 13 assists, and he held Trae Young to 4-22.
And that's the thing. I think universally, as basketball fans, we all agree Ben Simmons should have dunked that rock.
I agree, 100%.
But to say that in the press conference, they're supposed to be looking at you as, what we gonna do next, coach?
Exactly. So that was a bad show of leadership in that situation. And go see Glenn Davis' comments about Doc Rivers coaching.
What do you think happened? We talked to CP. What do you think happened on those teams, those Lob City teams?
Oh my God. First of all, I'm going to start with the coach, and that was the president at the time, Doc. I think it started with him, with just holding everybody accountable, especially your stars. You know what I mean? I think he did some really, really crazy things. He tried to, first of all, he tried to create Boston again, I feel like, in a way. You know, and these guys wasn't those guys.
Right.
You know, you're expecting them to be those great players. They're not.
Right.
So you got to handle these other guys different. You know what I mean? And I just think he lost us.
Doc Rivers even admitted that the Clippers teams he messed them up because of his lack of control over the team. So he has a timeline of like not doing what he needs to do. He's more of a rah-rah coach who's kind of hyped because the Celtics team, KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen were on autopilot. They didn't need nobody, and Tom Thibodeau ran the defense.
Exactly.
But Doc Rivers didn't do that much.
Man, that Celtics team, that's literally what kept him as a head coach right now in the league.
100%. So if you ask us, the Sixers' chance of winning the chip, I think in the Eastern Conference, they have the second or third best team? What would you say?
I was 100% for me, they're top three. Wherever you want to rank them, they're top three.
Who's your top three?
Brooklyn Nets,
I agree.
Milwaukee Bucks, and Philadelphia 76ers.
I agree.
James Harden and Embiid, that pick and roll, that's going to be a top two duo in my opinion.
And we saw that we saw it for like 10 games, and then James Harden just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
We saw it at a high level when he first got traded.
And now they got a whole season to get it together.
And James Harden said he had an off season to not be hurt. So
exactly.
Because of that, I agree that if everything's running well with health, with Tyrese Maxey showing the improvement that he's showing.
Right.
And if Doc Rivers just doesn't F it up, this team can possibly win a championship this year. And in the next 4 or 5 years, it all depends on Joel Embiid's health.
100%.
That's what it comes down
like
to.
Every other team, but especially this team right here. One thing with Tyrese Maxey, or one thing that with Tobias Harris that I hope doesn't affect this team is, I don't know Tobias Harris's personality, but if he sees Tyrese Maxey turn into that third star, he might be
fall back.
Yeah, that's what I would hope he does. That's what I would hope he
does.
does.
You know what's crazy? I give Tobias that he's a good teammate.
Yeah.
But even his contract and the hate that he gets, I just hope he doesn't do too much and let it consume him and how he plays.
100%.
Like, I hope you're right. Naturally, Tyrese Maxey should be the third best player on the team, and Tobias should just get crazy buckets when they're on the bench, or when Embiid goes to the bench, or Harden goes to the bench. That should be kind of his time. And I think for them to hit their real ceiling, you can't have Embiid trying to average 30 like he did last year.
Nah.
I always say less is more.
Hey, powerful.
And Embiid should average about 23, and then more rebounds and more blocks. And then that team will be more well-rounded, and he'll be rested into the playoffs. So if everything goes right, if Embiid stays healthy, which is like a 30% chance, 20% chance, realistically, I think they have a chance to win maybe one championship over the next 4 years.
I agree with
5
that.
years.
100%. Especially because Harden, his window for playing at this level right now is about 3 to 4 years.
Exactly.
And we've already seen his play deteriorating over the last couple years. So Harden's window is shortening right now. What they say, Father Time?
Time waits for no man.
Time waits for no man, exactly.
And on that note, make sure you take advantage of all your opportunities in life because of that saying right there. Time does not wait for no one. And if you don't jump on it properly like the Sixers have done this year, or they've tried to do, then you'll find yourself not eating and not being able to let everybody around you eat. So in the meantime, work on yourself, stay on your grind, and make sure everybody around you eats, B.